Welcome, everybody, to Zeta Global Radio. I am your host, Lainey Savante Wolkin. I am so glad to be here today. We are actually recording right here in the Pharmadelica Sound recording studios here on the beautiful island of Pine Island, which is off the coast of Florida, the Gulf Coast. And today is a special treat because not only are we interviewing the creators of sounds, which we've been talking about a lot, and here in Florida, it's highly anticipated, and people are buying this album across the world. It's very exciting. But also, Doug and Wayne are here to not only talk about it, but also to share in their wonderful release that we are having here tonight. It's a party here at Zeta Global Radio. So here we go. Let me introduce to you Wayne Davidson and Doug Rarden. Hi, guys.
Hi, Lainey.
Yeah, hi. This is great, and I'm so glad to have you here. First off, congratulations on your record release. Do we say records, or do you say CDs? What are people saying these days, in your opinion? What are you hearing out there?
Maestro has told me that it's an album.
So we are on air, Wayne, so when you are saying maestro and you're pointing to the glass and the person on the other side, who are you really referring to?
Howard, your other half.
Howard Merlin.
Howard Merlin told me that it is an album.
It's an album. I think us old school people do say album. Some people say CDs, and some people even say digital. And, of course, these days you have to have your beautiful sounds in all formats. So you mentioned Howard Merlin. So before we get to him, in your relationship and your connection of how this came together, let's talk about the two of you, give people background on the artistes behind Nature Spirit Drums. Who wants to go first? Okay.
Well,
this is Doug talking. Go for it, Doug.
Hello, this is
Doug Rarden.
Wayne and I have been together for 35 years.
Yeah.
And we started our spiritual journey together about 10 years ago when we started studying Reiki and became Reiki masters. We then went on to study with world-renowned author and energy healer Deborah King, and we studied with her for 6 years and became master graduate students of hers. And from there, we started meditating, which Wayne will touch on, I'm sure, and how that inspired him to start making drums. That led us on to sound healing. Why don't you talk about that?
Okay. So energy work will change your life in a lot of ways. You think that you're working on healing other people, but you're healing yourself too. So
that's so profoundly true.
I mean, so first off, we were more than casual drinkers, and I woke up one morning after starting energy work, and sometime during the night, somebody told me, "Hey, you don't need this anymore," and that was the last drink that I had.
It's amazing.
Ever,
Wow.
I don't miss it.
How long ago was that?
I think it's been about 7 years, and sometimes I think, ooh, I could really enjoy just a really fine Captain Morgan tattoo rum to sip, but I don't miss it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt to be around people. So that's one thing that energy work.
We're non-drinkers too. I mean, I understand.
That did is I stopped that. And meditating, is probably the single best thing that I've ever done for myself. And it was during meditation that the guides come to me and said, "Hey, you need to start making drums." And I questioned that, and their response was, "Do it." So I started making drums. They're frame drums, Native American style drums. Then I expanded into rattles, and all of the drums are made from rawhide. And the rattles are rawhide, but with the rattles, the guides also told me what to fill them with, and they told me to fill them with crystals. So all of my rattles are filled with whatever crystal I'm guided to use when I'm making the rattle. So that's
So you've learned to trust your guidance.
yes, I learned that probably before I ever started doing energy healing.
Were you both musically inclined? I mean, were you music lovers? Or tell me just sort of your background in music and instruments, because we're going to talk all about all the plethora of instruments used on this album, but I'm just curious to know sort of your background in relating to music.
Well, mine started with singing as a child, and singing in lots of choruses and a lot of solo work. Did some performing after school. Then most recently sang with the Symphonic Chorale of Southwest Florida.
Nice.
Not as much with instruments, did some studying of dance and piano, but not a lot of instrumental study. Just fell in love with the crystal bowls, the Tibetan bowls.
Oh, yeah.
And we play them through our intuition and guidance.
Yeah. Beautiful. How many bowls do you all have now? Let's just make everyone listening jealous.
About 30.
Wow. How many, is that about how many were in here?
No.
No.
12. We have 12 crystal bowls.
And we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Well, you have
So
a
about
lot.
25.
Yeah, a lot. There is a picture. I think it's on your. Is it on your Bandcamp page, or is your website, or maybe both? That you took, or we took, when you were in here recording, and it just showed the astonishing array of instruments in here. So we want to definitely direct people to see really what's behind your newest release sounds. So. It's on your Bandcamp page or the website, or both?
I think it's on the Bandcamp
Yeah.
page is where
Okay.
it's at.
All right, let's give them the Bandcamp information right now while we're here.
And the Bandcamp address is naturespiritdrums.bandcamp.com.
That's it. Okay, good. I was just seeing if you knew it. You have a whole, you
I
have
had
a
to
whole
think.
team of people now growing as this album comes live. Okay, so here we are. Today is Sunday, July 14th, and you are having a record release, an album release, a CD release party here, right in the recording studio where we are right now, where you recorded this album. How does that feel? What does that feel like? Did you even imagine this would be like a record release party in your life?
No.
No.
A year ago, when we started doing sound healing in groups, we had used the bowls and the drums and the rattles in our private sessions with clients, but it wasn't until a little more than a year ago that we started performing a 5-element sound healing and using instruments that represented the elements of earth, fire, water, ether,
Air.
and air. And so at that time, we never dreamt in a million years that we could be doing a recording a year later.
Yeah.
And so it's just thrilling.
So what is that? Okay, so you never thought that. And so how was it when you got clear? Like, tell us the story of, we're ready. Is it the guidance, or what really led you to believe, like, this is the moment, the time has arrived? Because everything is about timing. And you were, and we're showing people, or they're listening to this, and many people are going to be inspired on so many ways of when it's their calling, when it's their moment to come up and out and showcase their gifts. And you guys are modeling that.
So I think you know when that time is. I know I am, and I'm pretty sure Doug is too. We're firm believers, and we live our life that whatever happens is supposed to happen. We're on allow, and I believe that, if you're just like if you were looking for a spiritual teacher of some kind, and until you're ready, you're not going to find that person. And I kind of put that the same way with doing this project is, we weren't ready. We needed that one extra instrument that we didn't have yet.
That's what you believed.
Yeah. And when we had that, things fell into place. And
what was the instrument?
Well, actually, we decided to do it before we got the final instrument, but it was the rattler from a rattlesnake that is very subtle on the album.
Wow.
You have to listen close for it, but there is an actual rattlesnake rattle in there.
And you knew that was the one that you felt ready after that.
Yes.
I think it was just a knowing in as much as so many people had urged us to do this. Clients that had come to the sound healings had said, oh my God, I could sleep so much better if I had this music to go to sleep by. I would be able to relax better if I had this music to listen to at home. Why don't you make a CD? And then, of course, you urged us and one day,
I am kind of tenacious like
when
that.
you approached us with Howard and we sat down and talked, it just felt right. It just was like, oh my God, this is ridiculous to pass this opportunity up. This is supposed to be. We can't let the universe dangle this in our front of us and then skip by it.
It's so wonderful that you said that. We were just sharing that yesterday about how all the elements have come together. There's a recording studio right here, a spiritual recording studio that has the elements, because you have to be in the right environment to be able to express, to be able to have that creative flow come out. And
this is the right environment. I wish everybody could see in here, because during the experience, we didn't want it to end. It felt so good. It was like, oh, I know it's over. I want to keep playing instruments here. I want to keep hearing the sounds.
Yeah. Magical. Did you even sleep that night, by the way? No.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
That's being in the vortex, right?
Yes, it's been a whirlwind, and an amazing experience, and looking forward to the next album.
All right.
With new instruments.
Ooh. All right. Well, we'll take a break right here, and when we come back, we have a whole nother segment, and we are going to get deep into Sounds 1 before we get to Sounds 2. We're going to learn all about the sacred journey of the inner cosmos. You're listening to Zeta Global Radio. We'll be back in a moment. Holistic Radiance Day Spa in Cape Coral is one of Southwest Florida's premier destinations for the ultimate relaxing day spa experience. Owner Lucille Trice and her therapist specialize in massage therapy, facials, plant-derived organic skincare and nail bar, as well as energy healing. Health and wellness classes are offered weekly, from nutrition to essential oils. Now is the time to start thinking about the perfect Mother's Day gift certificate or spa package. Contact us today to create that custom nourishing present your mother deserves. Visit holisticradiancefl.com to learn more about our restorative and rejuvenating spa. Do you have an animal spirit or totem in your life? Do you believe in the significance of seeing unique occurrences of animals? These questions and more will be answered on Saturday, October 5th from 10 to 4 p.m. as Green Planet Farm and Gardens welcomes animal shaman and intuitive Bernadette King to a special one-day workshop on the beautiful island of Pine Island off the west coast of Florida. Learn the many ways our power animals help us in our life with this 6-hour experiential and immersive spiritual workshop. Develop your psychic and energy healing skills in working with animals. Bernadette will also be available to sign her brand new tarot and oracle deck, The Ark. Space is limited. To reserve your spot today, please visit whatismyspiritanimal.com. The Holistic Chamber of Commerce of Southwest Florida welcomes you to their upcoming community education panels at Unity of Fort Myers. Join us Saturday, July 27th from 2 to 4 p.m. as 4 of our esteemed members will be discussing building a healthier gut to live well and longer. On Saturday, August 24th, get ready to learn all about holistic healthcare for pets as our panels share natural choices for our four-legged best friends. Both events are a $5 admission at the door. For more information, please visit our website at holisticchamberofcommerce.com/Fort Myers or on our event page on Facebook. You just heard a little soundbite from the new album Sounds, Nature Spirit Drums. We have Wayne Davidson and Doug Rarden here getting ready for their new release party tonight. What's in store for us tonight, by the way? What's happening? Lucky people, by the way, coming to this little party.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit like we are today and tell people about our history and where we came from and how this all happened to be. And then we're going to listen to snippets of every track for about 20, 25 minutes. And then we're going to have a little champagne and some non-alcoholic cider and some cake. And
it's a party.
Party.
Yeah, this is very exciting. Are people going to come in yoga mats, or are we going to sit on chairs? Or I think you'll probably find everyone's going to do a little bit of everything.
I think so.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
Well, because they're going to be in here in the recording studio where we're at, and then they're going to probably go into the control room where Howard does all his magic.
Yeah.
And
so one of the things that I see, I've been tracking everything you guys do as much as I can on Facebook and other social media, is that many people have asked you what kind of CD this is. Is it right for yoga? Is it for sleeping? Is it for, what is it? What is Sounds? So, and you've had answers, and I want to hear from you what it is to you, because I think it's a lot of things to a lot of people.
And I agree with that. I think for me, I love going to sleep to it. But I also listen to it during the day when I'm working too. When I'm doing computer work, I have it on in the background.
I do too.
So it's multi-purpose. We have listened to it driving. I probably wouldn't do that if I was tired.
Yeah.
But I think it could be used for anything. And for meditation, we've meditated during it. It might be a little much for yoga, but I don't know. I've never done yoga, so I don't know.
Okay. Well, we'll have to put it in the hands of some yoga teachers. I'm sure there'll be plenty of volunteers who will want to try it out.
Because we go through all the chakras with the Tibetan bowls and through all the elements, it really changes its mood from track to track. I think the beginning of it is very, very grounding. As you move forward, you get the fire energy of the rattles, and then the water element of the ocean drum. So the mood changes a lot during it. You can listen it straight through, and if you can stay awake or conscious, and or you could listen to one track that speaks to you at that time.
We should have absolutely just synchronized it, because that was so beautiful, Doug, how you just kind of walked through the flow of it. And as you spoke, and I'm looking around and seeing all these incredible instruments, we should have had you say, and when you get to the rattle, and then what is in your hand over there, Wayne?
Oh, not a rattle. Not a rattle, it's a drumstick.
Yeah. Oh, I did. Okay. And so, but anyways, let's do that now, actually, because there are a lot of wonderful, wonderful instruments here. And these are all handmade, or the majority of these are handmade by Nature Spirit Drums. You guys.
Everything except for the crystal pyramid that we have here is made by me.
Beautiful. All right, well, let's start with what you have near you.
Okay. So I have, and this is one of my personal drums that I use in healings. It's a 15-inch octagon elk hide. And when I make these drums, I meditate with them to find other animal spirits that are associated with them. And this particular drum has wolf spirit associated with it. So it's got a very nice
beautiful
sound
tone.
to it.
Yeah.
And a lot of resonance. And this was played on the CD. We had nine drums here, including one that I didn't make, that I purchased, which was over 100-year-old Tibetan shaman drum that spoke to me, called me when I was in New Mexico and said, "Come by me."
Beautiful. And did the wolf energy have any significance in terms of the performance or the recordings?
You know, I'm sure that it did. It didn't at that time, because we had, during the recording, we had six crystal skulls, some crystal pyramids, some selenite wands, and
it was gridded out, people.
It was gridded
out in here.
So there was a lot of energy flowing
Yes,
around here. Plus, we had just gotten back from a workshop in Santa Fe, a Gathering of Shaman workshop. So we were still buzzing from that when we came in to record.
Beautiful. All right. What about what's the next one near you, which I can't wait. We'll have to take pictures of that for the Zeta Global Radio Facebook page, no question. Right.
So this is something that I just I've been admiring these for a while, and I hadn't made any, and they become a little more of a challenge. But it's a rattle made out of a turtle shell. It has two crystals in it. It's got black tourmaline and citrine crystals. The black tourmaline, and this is my personal one. I'm going to start making these to sell, but the black tourmaline was gifted to me. And then the citrine came from Quartzsite, Arizona, when we were out there.
Wow.
We went shopping there, but it's got a unique sound to it, a little bit different than the rawhide rattle that you'll hear in a few minutes.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Doug, you have an array over there as well.
I do.
Shake it, baby, shake it.
I have a rawhide rattle right here with, what type of fur is this one?
It is wolf.
With wolf hide. Yeah. And I'm not sure what these crystals are. That's beautiful.
Well, what I love about it is that you have such an array of rattles, and all of them have, I mean, it's a kaleidoscope, a rainbow of different crystals. And I know I own a few personally, and many others we know all have them. But it's so powerful for healing work. And many people locally have said, hearing the music, because many have already downloaded it digitally, and now the physical CD is out, which is great. But they're using that. They're using your rattles. You are allowing them to make significant healing changes in people's lives. I mean, what does that feel like when you think about the exponential impact that you guys are creating?
Well, I think that's why I was guided to do it.
Yes.
In the first place. When somebody's got an energy block, I've found that you can do as much energy work on it as you want, and you can still, that block just isn't going to move. And if you drum over it or rattle over it, it's surprising how quick it actually moves that block and allows some people. We were in Orlando and we drummed over a person and removed the blockage in them, and they immediately had an initiation afterwards. So it was like they only needed that to be taken out of the way to allow a higher energy to come in. Mm-hmm. So using it physically, and then have you used your own album yet to do any healing work on people? I mean, have you had it played in the background, or is that yet to come? That's yet to come.
All right. All right. Well, if you need a volunteer, I'm your girl. All right. So what do we have? Oh, this is one of my favorites.
So this is an ocean drum. When we use this one...
It's got a mind of its own.
Yes, it does. When we use this one during our sound meditations, more people mention that they journey, have more out-of-body experiences. As soon as it's over with, what was that? Oh my God, I was walking down the beach with my grandmother hand in hand.
Wow.
Amazing experiences that people have with this. And it really does move a lot of energy, especially when it's played over you. And while we do that, while I'm playing the bowls, then Wayne walks around the room and plays drums, rattles, and other instruments over each participant.
Beautiful. All right. What's next?
So on the ocean drum, there are 6 of those that are layered over top of each other on the Sounds album. So when you hear that track, there's actually six of those being played. Not all by me.
The power of mixing and mastering and putting it all together. That's what makes it so special. In fact, we can even segue there for a second, then we'll jump back because I know you have more instruments, Doug, to share, is the experience that happened in the production. Because this was a very unique production. For those, we also have a lot of film and music people, and people love process and how things actually, make it to the big screen or make it to the actual production of an album. And so this was essentially a live recording, and then you got to go back and really work with Merlin, as most people call him. Do you just want to talk about that experience for you and because you just brought up some really good points about there were layers of that, and it made you feel like you were forward and backward and to the left, to the right. I mean, it is a whole body experience. And so a lot of that is, all of you all working together.
Yeah. He is amazing to work with. If anybody's listening and gets a chance, they should work with him. The whole experience with playing on it's just like the drums. Even though we had 9 drums, and one of them was a 36-inch powwow drum, you can't play all those drums at one time.
Sure.
So we played one drum through with the bowls, just like we would do in our healings. Then we layered all the other drums over top of them with different rhythms and beats. So it's just remarkable how it turned out, because you can't do that in a live environment unless you had 20 people playing different instruments, and
it's so organic. It's so organic where a lot of people, they've been practicing and record, that same song, and they finally come into the studio and play it.
That was what I thought was going to be the biggest challenge, because when we do our sound healings, everything is through intuition. Sure. and how we're guided to do it. And I thought, how can we do this in a sound studio when there's somebody there listening to us and not meditating? And it couldn't have gone any better. Yeah. I mean, we went through the first hour straight, hour 10 minutes, and it was the first time we actually got to listen to what we were producing. And then when we came back in with the headphones and started layering other parts to it, we did a lot of the layering in segments, but at the end, when I added all the chimes and the xylophones and a lot of the other softer, more ethereal instruments and more Tibetan bowls, I was just completely guided to do everything. There were times I couldn't even hear what I was playing, and I was concerned. It was like, oh, how did that sound? And when I walked out, they were smiling and their thumbs were up, and everybody was saying, oh my God, it was perfect.
Yeah.
And then when I got to hear it, I'm grinning from ear to ear right now.
Yeah, you are. Rightly so.
And it's overwhelming, the whole experience. And every time I listen to it, I couldn't be more thrilled with the results of
Beautiful.
and the energy that I feel every time. And I hope that our listeners will feel the same energy and love that we put into it.
There's no question. Well, we have time to find out what your last instrument is, and then we will let people know how they can get a hold of this wonderful album.
Okay, as Wayne said, this is the last one that we brought with us. This is not an instrument that he made. This is a crystal pyramid.
Ooh, God.
And it is gorgeous. It added a beautiful tone. And I wish you could feel the energy coming out of it.
So there's multiple ways to play this, and on another recording that we worked on, Doug played it one way, and then I played it a completely different way because I spin it a lot more instead of just kind of holding it in one spot. And when you spin it, it gives you a very interesting sound that it kind of just swirls around you.
It's absolutely stunning. You could just keep doing that, Doug. Yeah, the room is completely elevated if it wasn't already.
So
I think they're feeling that in the Isles of Trinidad right now.
we're going to add a couple more sizes to our collection.
All right. Well, we know that you've hinted at a sounds too, which is exciting, and we are all going to look forward to that, and we are all going to look forward to tonight's celebration and honoring you and celebrating the work that you guys are doing out in the world. It's just a real ministry, a mitzvah, a blessing, and I'm grateful that Howard and I are a part of it in every way we can be. So
well, we're grateful that you've invited us to join you today and to allow us to be a part of your musical family.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, it's an amazing group. So.
Well, we invite all of you to hop onto.
There's two places you can go to get the physical CD. You can go to naturespiritdrums.com.
Okay. Perfect. And see all of what you do. Which
and
is
you
perfect.
can see all of our instruments there.
Excellent.
That we make. There are quite a few out there. And to get the digital download, you can go to naturespiritdrums.bandcamp.com to download it there.
Perfect. Okay, well, stay tuned. You'll probably be seeing some Facebook Lives or some little happenings of what's going on tonight at this release party. Thank you. No matter where you are in the world, we hope you get a chance to enjoy this innovative, beautiful, very sacred and unique album, Sounds. Again, by Nature Spirit Drums, Wayne Davidson and Doug Rarden. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Namaste. Blessings to all.